Welcome back to another week. I'm your host, Mary. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so thrilled to have you. This is the Self Love Club podcast brought to you by Mary Young. I am indeed Mary Young, but Mary Young is also my brand, my women's clothing brand. We do a lot of intimates, loungewear, some swimwear, some accessories, just like things to make you feel good. That is the whole point of Mary Young. And you may be asking, what is the Self Love Club? How does that relate to Mary Young? Well, for those of you who know, thank you for joining us for years of the Self Love Club. But the Self Love Club really has nothing to do with buying our products. It's really just about the conversation around self-love and opening up this dialogue to have more acceptance and self-care for all of us on this journey of betterment in our lives, because we honestly want to feel our best. It is so important to love yourself first and to enjoy this life that you have, live it to your fullest, and just be fulfilled and happy in who you are. And that doesn't come easy as we are learning, as we age. And I'm just saying we, because I know this firsthand so well, it is work. It is work to love yourself on the bad days. It is work to find ways to heal past wounds or traumas, or maybe just bad habits that we have that hold us back from achieving the life that we want and a fulfilling life. So that's really what we do here. We have the podcast, we have the journal and the Self-Love Club on Mary Young. We are on YouTube. Hello, everyone on YouTube. And there's a lot of other things coming in, I would say IRL as well as online. So we are going to be doing some other events. It's been a while since we've done events, and I'm going to be honest with you. Partially, it's because of the pandemic, and obviously that put a pretty big halt to in-person events. But secondly, I don't have the same capacity that I used to have when I was in my 20s. My energy levels are just not so great. So I'm definitely having to adjust how much I can put on my plate. And the Self-Love Club really is an extension of me. It is a part of my passion and my love for everyone, just my love for us all living our best life. But I also want to be able to show up 100% when we do in-person events and be my authentic self. And sometimes that means I have to not do it because I don't always have the energy, and I also deal with a lot of chronic pain. So if you're new, again, this is news to you, but if you are not new, thank you for listening to my story. But I deal with chronic migraines and I have endometriosis, amongst a few other things that I'm still trying to understand and get to the bottom of. And so my energy levels are low. My pain tolerance is actually quite high because I have migraines quite often, but it definitely limits what I'm able to do. So the podcast was a really realistic way to continue to grow the Self-Love Club. And that's why I'm here doing this, because I really believe in a space where we can all feel heard and valued and loved and seen and just be our true selves and explore life, because it is not always easy, but it's so beautiful when we do it together. So here we are. And I'm going to stop my rant and just welcome to the Self-Love Club. And thank you for joining us this month. Our monthly intention is worthiness. So if you haven't listened to last week's episode, I highly recommend you go back, because we talk a little bit about what worthiness is, how you should be understanding it in your day-to-day life and your relationships, and then also the questions you should be asking yourself if you don't feel worthy of certain things, and maybe get into the root of where that's coming from. So this week, we really want to talk about your actual worthiness and understanding and learning your worthiness, because cultivating this relationship with yourself is obviously an act of recognizing your inherent worthiness and treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion as you would treat others. That's something that I circle back to so often, is treat yourself as you would treat others, speak to yourself the way you would speak to others. And if you need to do it in third person, I'm right there with you. I'm always telling myself, Mary, you got this. Mary, you are strong. You can do anything you set your mind to. So if you're learning how to speak to yourself the way you speak to others, maybe try doing it in third person. It might feel weird, but it also might work. So we're talking about, obviously, the profound connection between your worthiness and your self-nurturing, exploring how tending to your inner garden can lead to greater self-love and personal growth. I'm a very visual person, and I know I say this so often, so I'm going to keep going back to it. Being visual helps me understand things, and tending to an inner garden also helps me understand things. It's that whole, you have to water the grass where you are, you have to wait for, the season of blooming. It doesn't happen all year round. Like, all these different things really help me understand that I may be pouring a lot of energy, whether it's to myself or an aspect of the business or somewhere else in my life, and I'm not going to be guaranteed to see results right away because I'm watering it, I'm nurturing it, and I'm tending to it. And it takes a while for that crop or that flower to bloom. And that's just something that I need to learn because I don't have a lot of patience, but it's also just a reality when it comes to personal growth. It doesn't happen overnight. It really is this journey that we're on together. So count me in on your team as we are tending to our own personal gardens. When you're embracing self-compassion, it's the heart of a nurturing relationship. And I know you know, because we talked about self-compassion last month. That was our monthly intention for August. If you didn't listen, it's okay, because all the episodes are on the podcast. They're available on YouTube. And if you're a reader, they're all on the Self-Love Club journal on maryyoung.com. So wherever you need to go, you can go and learn a little bit more about self-compassion. And just as you would empathize with others and offer comfort to a friend facing their challenges and whatever's happening in their life, practicing self-compassion means extending the same understanding to yourself. Like I said, it's speaking to yourself the way you would speak to others. It's acknowledging that you're human, you're prone to making mistakes, and you do, in fact, have imperfections. Yet you are still deserving of kindness and forgiveness. This act of self-compassion is rooted in acknowledging your worthiness, regardless of any perceived shortcomings. So again, we talked about this during self-compassion, is understanding that as a human, you are going to make mistakes. You have imperfections. And it's not only important to acknowledge that, but also embrace that, because that's not going to hold you back from anything in life. That's not going to determine if you're worthy or you're not worthy, because we are all humans and none of us are perfect, no matter how hard we try. But usually when we let go of trying to be perfect, we are able to show ourselves more self-compassion and therefore understand our worthiness of that life and that kindness and compassion and love that we're looking to get from others, but we really should be fostering within ourselves first. A big part of learning your worthiness is honoring your needs. I just want to ask you, when was the last time you honored your needs? That you literally took a moment, you paused and you reflected and you understood what your needs were, and not only did you acknowledge them, but you acted on them, you honored them, and you fulfilled those needs. It's been rare for me. I'm not going to lie. It's easy for me to say, I'll do that later. Let me think about that, or just feeling like it's not realistic. And that is a bit of self-sabotage, because I don't believe that I'm worthy of honoring my needs. But as soon as I honor my needs, the better I can be, not only for myself, but also for other people. Recognizing your worthiness means that you're also prioritizing your self-care and addressing your needs. So this could involve, let's say, setting boundaries with some not great people or some family that really just doesn't help you in a positive way, so you're able to protect your time and energy. It could also be nourishing your body with movement, nutritious food, time away from screens, whatever that is, or engaging in activities that actually just bring you joy. So doing things for the sake of joy, not for the sake of accomplishments, for weight loss, or all these different things that we usually tie to different activities. Is there's supposed to be some sort of external gain and recognition for doing it, but rather bringing a sense of joy should be such a big part of different activities we include in our life. So by honoring your needs, you communicate to yourself, which is very important, that your well-being matters and that you deserve to thrive. I love that word, thrive. I don't want to just survive. I don't want to just get through another hard week or a hard month or a hard season. I actually want to be thriving in this life. We are only guaranteed this life that we know of, and I want to make the most of it. I want to really be feeling fulfilled, having a positive impact, connecting with those that I'm in a relationship with, and just showing up for myself the way I would show up for others. And that's something that I am constantly working on, believing and trusting that I am worthy of. So I'd like you to think about, what are your needs that maybe you're not honoring right now? And what's something that you want, or what's the overarching feeling you want in life that you need to not only understand, but actually hold true and believe that you're worthy of having? I love taking these these little questions as some homework or some journal prompts. If you're a journaler, this is a great place to start. To be able to understand and learn your own worthiness, you have to be able to actually embrace your authentic self. So no presenting, no filters, no, fixing certain things or making sure that you only laugh a certain way or you smile a certain way. No, who you are at your core is already enough. To understand what your authenticity is and embracing it, it actually requires slowing down and reflecting on who you are. And maybe seeing what those filters or those, things that you're tweaking a little bit to present or perform or show up in a certain way are, so that you can start to look at who you are at your core and not those things that you've maybe altered about yourself to fit in, because that's also human nature. We've been doing that from a very young age, but you want to embrace your authenticity, because you're actually going to find more love for yourself when you're not conforming to external expectations or validations from other people. So authenticity is a celebration of your worthiness, as it is acknowledging that your uniqueness is a gift to be cherished. I love that. You have so many gifts. You're unique, you're special in just who you are, and you really should be cherishing it. You don't need to look to other people to acknowledge it and bring it up and celebrate it. You should be celebrating it within yourself. So when you allow yourself to be genuine, you not only honor your own worthiness, but you also inspire others to do the same. And I think that also, to me, is very important. Is just being able to be true to who I am, embrace my flaws, my imperfections, all those unique characteristics about me that maybe I wasn't always comfortable with, that I've learned to love and accept. And by doing that, I'm also encouraging other people to do the same, because I want all of us to feel good about ourselves. It's such a beautiful way to live. When it comes to growth in life, one thing I have found I've been doing lately is reading a bunch of books, listening to podcasts, maybe seeing some TikToks about, this glow up this girl had, this journey to change my life in 6 months. And yes, I think it's so important to be inspired by others. Probably why you're here on the podcast. It's to help you get a little bit of a guideline of where you want to go, but you need to also turn inward for your growth. A nurturing self-relationship is a fertile ground for that personal growth and, like we said, that personal garden. When you believe in your worthiness, you're more willing to take risks and step outside of your comfort zone. This might involve, let's say, pursuing new opportunities, learning new skills, or facing fears that once held you back. The foundation of self-worth enables you to approach challenges with resilience, viewing setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth. And I am a big advocate for resilience. I think that's something that we are not taught in so many ways of our life, that we don't even talk about that often. But as we navigate life, there's going to be so many situations that we need to become resilient in. And when you are able to look inward for that growth, to foster that nurturing relationship, you are going to continue to be resilient. And all these external things that happen that may normally set you back or set you off, you suddenly will be able to handle with much more composure, calmness, and also just really not be affected by, because you have the strength within you rather than having to deal with other people and looking to other people for that support. So cultivating a nurturing relationship with yourself is an ongoing journey. Like all these journeys, all these intentions are constantly ongoing, but they do intertwine, so they support one another. And one that intertwines seamlessly with the concept of worthiness, as we talked about, is self-compassion. So again, here's another little nudge to go back and listen to last month's intention around self-compassion if you didn't. By recognizing your inherent value and treating yourself with kindness, you create space for self-love to flourish. And as you water the seeds of self-nurturing, you'll witness the blossoming of authenticity, personal growth, and a deep appreciation for the unique individual that you are. Remember that nurturing your relationship with yourself is a powerful testament not only to your worthiness, and it sets stage for a life filled with self-love, authenticity, and the boundless potential of personal development. And it also encourages others to do the same. So this week, I want you to really think about how you can start implementing worthiness in your life, whether it's setting those boundaries, it's looking inward and having more self-compassion and nurturing that relationship you have with yourself. Maybe it's taking a step outside of your comfort zone because you are worthy to try new things. These are all different things you can reflect on this week. And again, we have reflections shared on the journal and on social media. And if you have questions, you know where to find me on Instagram and basically everywhere. I think everywhere on social media, it's at It's Mary Young. And if you haven't left a voicemail for me, I would love it. I love to hear you. I love to hear your thoughts around the Self-Love Club, things that you are learning and growing and how we're doing all this together. And if you haven't left a review, I think today would be a really great time. I hope that you really enjoyed this episode. So you could leave a 5-star review. You can also leave comments and questions if you're listening on Spotify on the episode. Within the podcast, there's a little spot for you to actually type in some comments, and I would love to read them and see them. And also, you should subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to know when every episode is coming out, when new things are coming out. And same thing for the podcast. Get a little notification. You can turn your sound off so it's not annoying, but get a little notification every week when a new episode comes out on Sunday. I hope you have an amazing day, and remember to love yourself first.